107.7 The Bone, it's the Metal Zone. My guest tonight is Eddie Hermida from Suicide Silence, who's going to be performing tonight at the Oakland Metro for the Nikki Davis benefit, which is Rob Flynn and Friends, the Black Sabbath tribute show. Welcome.
Hi.
How did you end up in on that show?
I don't know. I'm really surprised and really excited. I just got a call from Rob Flynn, and he's like, hey, dude, I got this thing that I kind of do every so often where I put together a band that kind of plays a bunch of Black Sabbath songs. Would you be kind of down to do it? I don't know how much you like Black Sabbath. And I was like, dude, I love Black Sabbath. Who doesn't? And, it's kind of a metal staple.
You kind of have to.
Yeah, you kind of have to. I don't have to, but
you have to appreciate it if you don't love it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you like metal, I mean, that's the godfathers of, especially being from the Bay and thrash being such a big thing from here. I would say that Ozzy started that whole, that whole sound and, that whole vibe with metal, and how it is. Either way, I got asked and I said I absolutely would be down, and it's a great opportunity, and I'm really stoked to do it.
And were you friends with Nikki and Jeff?
I wasn't, actually. I've known of them through. But
you had to have run into Jeff promoting shows at the Metro on occasion, right?
Yeah,
didn't you do a couple there?
Yeah, but I mean, it's in passing. I'd never really met them in person, so I knew who they were. I've known that they've been friends and family to the Bay and the Bay Area metal scene for a long time. So I'm happy to contribute, and I wish Nikki the best in her future. She has a tough road ahead of her.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's amazed me every single day that she's getting better and better. Because I remember seeing her in the hospital right after the accident, and we couldn't even, she was in a coma, basically. We couldn't talk to her, and she had so many operations ahead of her. So this is definitely one of those not so rare examples of the Bay Area metal community coming together to help their own. And it's really touching. So the show, for anybody who doesn't know, is now, and it's completely sold out and has been since about 2 days after they announced it.
From what I heard, as soon as
before you were brought on, dude, I think
it was like as soon as they put the tickets on, I heard 2 hours later. So I was like, "Hey, you can buy the tickets now." 2 hours later, somebody called me and said, "Dude, it's been sold out." I said, "Are you kidding me? They just started selling the tickets." So they sold out in 2 hours. Something ridiculous like that. And
I ran into Rob Flynn at the Animal Rescue Foundation. Tony LaRusso's Animal Rescue Foundation has a show every year. So I ran into Rob at that show, and it was the Saturday before the announce. Not Saturday a week before the announce. And he's like, we can't even announce it for another week. We've got to get a bunch of stuff together before we can even do it. And he's like, and I'm a little worried because then we only have like a week to 10 days to sell the tickets.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that is kind of a quick turnaround, dude. And now it's like everyone in the Bay Area is freaking out because they can't get in.
Yeah, can't get in. I did some looking on the internet earlier. A friend of mine, my buddy Billy, was looking on the internet and gave me a call and was like, dude, somebody's trying to sell these tickets for $1,000 for a pair. I was like, are you kidding me? That's so horrible and ridiculous. But yeah, that's the buzz that's going around. It's pretty crazy. If you're going tonight, if you're listening to this right now.
If you're on your way there.
Yeah, sorry. If you're on your way there, you're really stoked. It's going to be a good show.
Yeah, and I also heard that there's some issues with some closures at 880, so check your maps first. Eddie Hermida is my guest in the Metal Zone tonight, and we have got Motorhead on the way. It's 107.7 The Bone. It's the Metal Zone. 107.7 The Bone. That was Black Sabbath in the Metal Zone. Black Sabbath now has all their early works with Ozzy available on iTunes, and before that we had Dio and Motorhead with I Ain't No Nice Guy. Motorhead has been announced for Coachella, and also I think they just got announced for the festival in Ohio, which means I guess Motorhead is going to be doing some touring this year. In the studio with me tonight, Eddie Hermida from Suicide Silence, who is also performing, speaking of Black Sabbath, tonight at the Black Sabbath benefit at the Oakland Metro. So we just talked about how Rob just called you up and was like, hey man, you want to come play? And you were like, absolutely. So once you got into the rehearsals,
I pissed myself at rehearsals. I was so nervous.
Who did you get paired up with? Did you have a choice in the matter, or did they say, hey, we want to put you here? The songs that you picked, how did all that happen?
I honestly didn't even think about who I was going to be playing with. I just, we were jamming with a, in-studio band, and Rob and Craig were just playing guitar. And I don't know, man. It's just like I didn't even think to ask. I'm so overwhelmed by the whole situation and just being able to do it. I mean, I got informed about the show a couple of days ago, really, like not even a week ago. I knew that I was going to be doing this, and so I mean, I'm really excited, and wasn't even thinking about it. Now that I know who I'm paired with, I might die on stage. So let's just put it like that.
Can you say who you're paired with yet?
I can't.
Okay, so it's some people that haven't been announced yet.
Yeah, some people. Well, I mean, I'm sure they've been announced, but their lineup hasn't been announced.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah.
It's one of those members of these famous Bay Area bands things that you can...
Yeah.
And for people who haven't read the flyer, I think everybody's read the flyer by now, but it's members of, Exodus, Metallica, I believe Death Angel, Forbidden. If anybody was ever in a Bay Area band.
Slayer.
Yeah. So,
Slayer.
There's that.
Slayer.
Well, I think I covered most of Slayer with Exodus and Forbidden.
Yeah,
these days.
right. Dang. Truth. Rest in peace.
Yeah. So how did you end up with the songs? Can you talk about the songs that you're going to sing tonight?
Yeah, actually, I'm doing Symptom of the Universe, and I am doing Sweet Leaf, dedicated to the one and only Green Lady, Mary Jane.
And how did you end up with those songs? Did you get to choose them, or were they pulled out of a hat?
Rob actually asked me what songs I wanted to do. My roommate, slash, bandmate, slash, really good friend of mine, he's all like, dude, why don't you just do Symptom of the Universe? It's a really kind of fast,
it's thrashy,
stony song, I mean, the meaning behind it is that, but it's a very kind of thrashy song, and I could totally rip it out death metal style and just really get into some gnarly, growly vocals. And I said, yeah, that sounds great. And as soon as I brought it up to Rob, he got really excited and then shot me a text a couple days later. He's like, dude, what would be perfect for you since you love to smoke weed all the time? Why don't you do Sweet Leaf too? And we'll just round it all out. I said, hell yeah, man, that's great. And both songs are sounding incredible. I'm really stoked on them.
Not nervous at all about singing Aussie style?
Yeah, actually I am.
Yeah?
Just because
it's not it's not your normal style.
Yeah.
Not that I question your vocal ability. It's just not what you usually do.
There's always going to be the judgment. You know what I mean? There's always going to be people being like, he can't really sing because he's a screamer or whatever. I don't care.
Not tonight, there won't be. I'm
thrashing it out and it's awesome. It sounds really good either way. I can't complain. I'm very happy, but I am nervous.
It's 107.7 The Bone. We are with Eddie Hermida from Suicide Silence in the Metal Zone, and Accept is up next. 107.7 The Bone. That is Dream Theater in the Metal Zone with Pull Me Under. They are going to be at the Warfield in San Francisco April 17th. Those tickets are on sale now at goldenvoice.com. I remember seeing Dream Theater at the Stone when that first came out. Disturbed before that was Stricken. Drummer Mike Wengren and his wife are expecting a baby boy. Congratulations. And Accept started off that set with Balls to the Wall. Schmear from Destruction just said that he's working on a side project with members of Accept. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that, especially since Accept is supposed to be working on a new album this year. But speaking of multitaskers, Eddie Hermida from Suicide Silence is in the studio with me tonight, also performing tonight at the Nikki Davis Memorial Benefit. But you haven't been in Suicide Silence too long.
No.
So let's dial it back to the Mitch Lucker Memorial concert that happened where you performed. Was it in talks at that time, or was it just a kind of a thing because All Shall Perish and Suicide Silence had been so close that they invited you to participate?
Mitch and myself were actually really, really good friends. I've toured with them several times in my career, seen them around. They've always come to shows. We've always gone to their shows. There's always, we kind of came up together, our two bands. So when he passed away, it actually was a huge blow to me. And I guess me staying in contact and calling them and being like, hey, dudes, are you guys all right? Like, if you ever need somebody to talk to, you got a friend in me and all this and that. I guess from there, they just said, hey, it's the next logical step. Why don't you just come down and do this memorial show? And I said, absolutely. Yeah, I would love to for the same reasons. It's a fun thing to do, commemorating somebody in amongst a crowd of people. It brings a lot of light to how the inner workings of a metal scene are, and I back it, so I hopped on it and did it, and it was a good time. We that concert was really heartfelt, and they played the DVD throughout the show, and there was not a dry cheek in that whole audience, The show was incredible, and I had a good time. I had a really good time, and I feel like, Mitch in some way his energy was relived there, and that's the whole point of a show like that.
So how long was it after that did they approach you to join the band, or when they decided to move on, did they just kind of shoot you a phone call, or was there like a catalyst event where you ended up in the same place at the same time?
No, a couple of months after the show, well, not even a couple months, it was, almost half a year after, the guys decided to actually pick themselves up, and they started talking about it, and within those talks, they decided that they wanted to give me a call just to see, test the waters, I guess. And they asked me to do a tester song just to hear how somebody sounded on over their music that wasn't Mitch. And I said, absolutely, anything to help you guys out. Sent them the "You Only Live Once" track that I did, that we gave a snippet of on the internet. And they were just completely stoked at how fast I did it, how stoked I was to help them out. Like, from what they've told me now, they were just like so floored at how it sounded and how it didn't give them a bad feeling right off the bat, that, they were like, dude, you have to come do this. And I told them that I needed to think about it. And, always my main goal was to absolutely stay in the, in All Shall Perish, and to continue working with both bands. But they offered it to me, and I stepped through the door. That's it. And then they, from there, we're now doing big things, I guess you could say.
So the DVD of the memorial concert is being released February 18th, and I assume you've seen it already?
Yeah, it's a really awesome DVD. One of the things I was really scared about was, I was nervous that the DVD might come off a little bit too negative, a little bit too much of a downer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Everybody's still deep in mourning when it happens. That's one of those things. It's like a wake to kind of heal people.
Yeah, but it absolutely doesn't. Everybody's partying. Everybody's having a good time. Just how much would have liked it. You know what I mean? Like, he was all about people having a good time. And yeah, man. It was the whole DVD in itself is really positive, really awesome. The music sounds great. They remastered it all, so they did a recording from the board, and then they sent it over to a mixing and mastering studio, and it sounds incredible. It sounds almost like a CD, if you could say.
Is it straight concert, or is there like some backstagey type of stuff, or did they keep that to a minimum?
There's intros, and then music, then outros. But obviously there's going to be a menu where you can watch both snippets, and then blah 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 blah. When you buy the DVD, and it's coming in Blu-ray too. They've got both options for you tech nuts out there.
And that is happening on February 18th. In the studio with me tonight, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the new Suicide Silence album, is Eddie Hermida, and Hell Yeah is on the way. It's 107.7 The Bone. It's the Metal Zone.
Hell yeah.
107.7 The Bone. That is him in the Metal Zone with Scared to Death. They are going to be at the Fillmore on March 9th. Those tickets are on sale now at livenation.com. Before that, Pantera with Walk. And Phil Anselmo just said that Down is going to be doing an EP soon, which is interesting because Down EPs are never like the last Down EP. It's almost like all brand new music every time.
Is this like Down 7 or 8 now?
It's like Down syndrome. Each album is never like the last album.
Down. So down.
Let me apologize to anybody who just got really offended by that. If you know Phil, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know Phil, you're probably really offended. So let me apologize. Yeah. We had Ghost before that with Secular Haze, Anthrax with Medusa. They are working on a new album right now. And Hell Yeah started us off with You Wouldn't Know. They're going to be releasing their fourth album, hopefully in April. It is as yet untitled, which I'm in the studio with Eddie Hermida from Suicide Silence. Is the same we can say for the new Suicide Silence album, correct?
Yep, no title yet. There's a lot of working things being thrown out there, but it'll all be decided on and a date put on it soon for a big press release whenever that happens. But I am done recording it, and I've been home for the holidays, so it's been done for a minute. It's going to be a doozy of a record. It's how do you put it? If it sounds like it sounds like Suicide Silence decided to go completely not forward with the way normally bands go. They go cleaner, they go cuter, it's more radio friendly. This next record is just completely heavy, completely ignorant, and ready to just destroy. It's the heaviest thing I've ever put out. That's crazy to say, right?
Yes, that is. How much of the album was in place when you joined the band?
I would say it was all skeletons. It was all bones just laying around.
Just riffs and bits?
Yeah, riffs and bits. I went down there in September and started working furiously. I mean, we got the record done in probably about 2 months.
Written and pretty much recorded?
We recorded it in a month.
Gotcha.
A month. It was like a month and a half. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, in total, I spent almost 4 months down there. Really, really, really getting it down. I mean, it was like a work schedule. We were waking up.
It's not like you got sunburnt in LA. You were inside.
No, I was inside. Think whatever you want to think. But yeah, in the end, we just sat down and put the songs together, gave it the meat and muscle, and then Steve Evitz helped really put together the skin and making it sound really brutal. And I don't know, man. It's a really, really organic record.
What was the writing process like for you? Are you contributing lyrics or riffs?
I contributed all over the place. I mean, minimally. I'm not playing the guitars. I'm not playing the drums. But I mean, if I hear a part, I'll speak my mind. It was very different from any of my previous works, just because I hadn't really jammed out tunes in a long time, to where I'm in the studio watching the bands really work the songs out. This was quite the process here. I mean, and that's why I believe, that's why I said it's like I believe that this record is really organic and it's really fluid, and it's awesome. Like I had been talking about recording this way for a minute now, because with All Shall Perish, we recorded very separately. Mm-hmm. Somebody would sit at their computer. I mean, you've heard the interviews, and I'm sure that you've read, but we recorded very separately, and then would come together to record in the studio. And that's the time that we would work out the small kinks and stuff like that. This was like removing the kinks the whole process and the whole time, and it was really, really, really invasive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At some points were you like, "Ugh, get out of my stuff. Let me just do it this way."
It's like that's how it is with everybody. The worst part is I was down there.
It's primal, right? You're in the studio. You disagree,
and very, very it's very intense. People get mad at each other. Like, I mean, I lost my cool. Especially sometimes you've been there for 4 weeks without a break. You're just going 5-6 days a week, and
everybody's got snapitude.
Exactly. I mean, anybody at anything they do, it's like there's a point where you just you snap, like you said. Yeah. Other than that, it was actually a lot of fun. The occasional snap, the occasional this and that.
Boys have fun when you beat each other up.
Really,
come on.
that's
it's
what
true.
It is. And I mean, I don't know. They going over the whole memory and the late night dinners with everybody, the sitting around, BSing, just in the lounge room, the sitting there working out lyrics and being like, "Oh man, that idea is awesome," and that's really cool, or like a guitar part, and when somebody nails their part and you're just like, that's it, you're right there. That stuff is really exciting, and being there for the whole thing, I don't know, just filled me up properly. You know what I mean? It really gives you that juice to move forward and really not pay attention to what anybody has to say.
So this wholly collaborative effort does not yet have a release date, but can we assume that it's going to be before summer?
It might be summer.
Summerish,
yeah.
Somewhere between spring and summer, it will be.
Yeah,
here.
I mean, I would say end of spring, summer, around that time, probably. I don't have a date yet, so I mean, we can't really say what season it's going to be in, but around that time.
Perfect. Eddie Hermida from Suicide Silence is in the studio with me tonight. And Slayer is up next. It's 107.7 The Bone. It's the Metal Zone. Yeah. 107.7 The Bone. That was Exodus in the Metal Zone with Pleasures of the Flesh. Exodus is going to be at Kirk Hammett's Fear Fest Evil at the Regency in San Francisco, February 6th, 7th, and 8th. FearFestEvil.com is where you can get all the information. And if you haven't heard, the truth is that we are going to have Kirk Hammett sitting in for Exodus's encore as well as Death Angel's encore. But before that, Machine Head with The Aesthetics of Hate, the song that they wrote for Dimebag Darrell, and Rob Flynn along with Craig LeCicero from Forbidden and Spiral Arms. They've put together the All-Star tribute that Eddie is going to be performing at tonight for Nikki Davis. Is performing. We can just go ahead and like blow that kind of like fantasy that people think you're going to run from here straight to there.
Yeah.
We may have recorded something in advance. In the studio with me tonight, Eddie Hermida from Suicide Silence. And we started off that set with Slayer, who are in the studio ready to put out that new album that Kerry King has had written for way too long now. It should be out by the summer. So Suicide Silence, the new album, no date yet, but completely in the can. Production and mastering and everything, just waiting for everything to finish.
We're actually going to be shopping out the mixing and mastering duties. We're waiting on a couple test mixes, and we should be getting those pretty soon. I'm actually really excited because I haven't heard the record since I laid down the last vocals. I listened through it once through, hopped in my car, and drove straight to San Francisco. But yeah, it's coming along. That it's still got a couple of months of production, and we still have to get our artwork and the name of the record and all that settled on. But the recording, the
hard part,
the band is done. You know what I mean? The band and the writing and the music is all done. We have more than enough songs for an LP, and yeah, dude, it's gonna blow your something off.
Now, as a Bay Area guy, you spent an awful lot of time in LA working on this album. You've just joined an LA band.
Yeah, I did. But I will say,
do you feel a little dirty?
No, I don't feel dirty because these guys are probably the most Bay Area hearted dudes. They're very LA in their ways, but it's not like the stigmas that you put on people, from LA. You're like, hey man, you're a little fake, or you're a little this and that. I mean, these guys are still true metalheads, and they've been friends of mine for a long time. But yeah, it's kind of hard to drive down that 5, man. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a long way.
You're like, oh, dude, I joined a band from LA, dude.
You start seeing the Dodger stickers, and you get a little sick to your stomach.
Well, Dodger stickers, I'm always repping the Giants all the way through. I've been a Giants fan since before I could even speak right. So, I don't even know that I still can. But so we'll say that I've been a permanent Giants fan.
Do you feel any changes coming on? I mean, you've already cut the hair. You got a little product going on there, but I noticed the beard is still farming.
Hey, I wanted to cut my hair for a long time. But kind of went with the look that I had kind of created for myself. This whole Hagrid Beastman kind of look that went with me.
Yeah, but you were like in love with that beard.
I loved the beard.
I thought the beard was going to get its own Twitter for a minute.
Well, I got tired of people mentioning only the beard.
Oh.
People get so beard obsessed.
You were jealous of your own beard?
I was jealous of my own beard.
A little bit? Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous how much people will be like, hey, man, that was a really nice beard on stage tonight. And you're like, hey, dude, what about the show that I just played? So, yeah, no.
So you're gonna keep it trim. This is the look that you're feeling like.
I'm gonna vary it out. Whatever you feel like. Feeling. The hair, I really wanted to get rid of it, but in the end, the hair doesn't
Everybody
make
grows
my
up.
voice. You know what I mean? I'm still gonna sound good. But I think I look a little bit prettier too. I like feeling handsome for once.
Look who's getting a big head all of a sudden.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm teasing.
Yeah.
So, coming up, there is a future with you and Suicide Silence. Do you see any more changes? Like, are you thinking about moving to LA, or are you going to be like bouncing around for a while?
No.
Or are you still firmly planted in the Bay Area?
Yeah, I mean, I've got too much friends and family up here. I can't leave. I gave up moving to the East Coast with my parents to be in bands and to be in the Bay and to be around the Bay Area metal scene. It's what I grew up in. It's what I love.
Second family.
It is a second family. It's helped me through a lot. So, I mean, I can't leave the Bay. I just can't. It doesn't mean that I won't have to. I don't know, but in the end, like, my intentions are 100% to stay here. Life is crazy, so you never know what happens. But I don't really need to as of right now. The band hasn't asked me to. They're pretty chill about it. They're like, hey, stay up in the Bay. We don't care. In fact, you're repping us up there, and that's really important. I like being able to come on this radio station and not some LA radio station to do
Welcome.
some stuff,
Yeah.
So, I feel like there's a lot to be done up here, metal wise, and still helping out with promoting shows and going to shows. I think some of the better shows happen up here too. I'm just saying.
I don't disagree with you. Eddie Hermida from Suicide Silence is in the studio with me tonight, and this is Slipknot with the Heretic Anthem on 107.7 The Bone. It's the Metal Zone. 107.7 The Bone, that is Trivium with Watch the World Burn. Death Angel before that with The Dream Calls for Blood. Death Angel going to be at Kirk Hammett's Fear Fest Evil, the horror music event that's happening at the Regency Ballroom February 6th, 7th, and 8th. Tickets are on sale now at fearfestevil.com, and as previously announced, Kirk Hammett will be performing the encore with Death Angel. Slipknot before that with the Heretic Anthem, and the Slipknot drama. I think I've explained it way too many times. I'm kind of over-explaining it, but they are working on the album, and so far they have not reconciled with Joey Jordison, and we're all just going to have to wait and see how that soap opera plays out. Ultimately, there will be some Slipknot sometime in the next year for all of us. Eddie Hermida from Suicide Silence is in the studio with me tonight, and Suicide Silence going forward. You've got some plans, right?
Yeah.
Big plans.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, nothing in the States. But I mean, as soon as people were, the buzz was happening about them continuing forward, we started getting offers. And I mean, before I was even in the band, I mean, people were like, yes, we want you to play wherever the hell you want. Go for it. And that's such a crazy experience to go through, because as a band, 90% of the time, you're like, hey, can I please play this tour? Now
look at me, pay attention over here.
Exactly.
And now everybody's descending like locust.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for it. I love playing. So in the end, all I'm doing is just going to be playing in front of people, and that's what I love to do. So.
And the first tour is announced, right?
Yeah, the first batch of shows have been announced. We're doing Soundwaves in Australia. I think it's Soundwave one.
The Soundwave Festival in Australia.
The Soundwave Festival, and then there's Soundwaves that happen. They're like little side shows.
Because it's a wave.
Yeah, right. Get it? Dang Aussies.
I know. They're funny over there, but they're good people. I like them.
Great people. I'd love to catch some brekkie.
Right?
Whatever that means. But
it's breakfast.
But yeah, right?
Right.
At Macca's.
Have you had their licorice?
What licorice?
It's not even like specific to Australia, but they have these like little licorice stands that have like really good licorice. Yeah. I don't go to the Macca's for anything except for Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I mean,
free Wi-Fi.
I actually call the Macca's the U.S. Embassy, so I go in there and get a milkshake every so often when I'm really feeling homesick.
And if you haven't been to Australia, that's the McDonald's. It's not
Macca's.
Something exciting. But I think the single greatest thing there is the cookies, and I'm blanking on the name of the cookies, but I absolutely love them. And if you bite off the corners, you can use it as a straw.
Purines or whatever?
No, that's not it. I totally know this because I freaking love them, and I've actually had people bring them from Australia for me.
Like, you might have to send me with
packages of the cookies.
A little package of stuff for you.
I have a picture of it on my Instagram. I will totally show you because I actually ran out of my last cookies a while ago. I can't believe I'm like blanking on the name. It's so ridiculous.
You're fiending now then, huh?
I am now. Now I'm like, I need a cookie. So I'm thinking that maybe we might, and I'm just going to ask you if we could please, I'll just put in the request now, maybe get in like a couple California date warm-up shows before you have to go to Soundwave. If that were something that you guys were inclined to do.
Yeah, if we were, we could, but...
I think you know a guy who puts on shows up here.
Yeah, I think I might know a guy or two, but the biggest thing is getting everything practiced first. That's going to take the whole next batch of time for me. Leaving actually this Sunday after the game. Go Niners.
Go Niners.
But I'm leaving right after the game and heading back down there to rehearse a pretty crazy production from what I understand. Mark and our tour manager, James, have been really hustling this whole stage show out, and we're going to be touring with this layout and with this performance for the next year or so. Like I said, we were going to Australia first, and then we're going to be jumping over to Mexico to play this Heaven and Hell Fest, and then Europe, and then this summer's looking like we might be doing something here in the States. So it's nothing I know for sure yet, but we've been talking to a couple of different festivals around. So yeah, we'll definitely be out this summer. People will be able to check us out. The album will be coming around then, and yeah, if I can get us a couple of Bay Area shows, that'd be great. I've already kind of mentioned it, and it's not opposed at all, but finding the right venue and putting on shows a lot more difficult than it really, than it seems. It's not just, hey, call this band to come up and do.
No,
something.
There's a lot of logistics behind it
Yeah.
that most people don't.
Yeah, exactly. So for sure, we're gonna be in the talks of that. I mean, I've got to play in front of my people, my folks. And tonight's actually gonna be the first time I've performed since all this whole crazy drama. Speaking of drama, bands are going through drama all left and right. But yeah, this is going to be the first show I do here in the Bay, and I'm really stoked.
As the singer for Suicide Silence.
Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy to even hear you say it, because
I know every time you guys can't see this, but you'll see it when we put it on the internet. Every time I've said Eddie Hermida from Suicide Silence, you like make a little reaction.
Yeah.
There's like
I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
It sounds so weird to me, but it's definitely.
You'll slowly get used to it.
I mean, I love where I'm at, so it's. It doesn't take getting used to. It's just weird still,
Curious, have you guys thought about, or has it already been decided, I don't know, a way to kind of pay tribute to Mitch in the live show production that's coming up? Is there something that's going to be a part of it?
Yeah. There's been talks about so many different things. We were thinking about getting like a projector that, projects onto fog that'll have his like silhouette or something, and have me walk through the fog, or stuff like that. Talking about it sounds a lot cheesier than it looks.
Yeah.
So I don't want to give away too much, but it's stuff like that. We don't really have something set. Like I said, that's what I'm going to spend next month doing, is getting down there, making sure that we know our cues, and making sure the stage show is solid, rock solid. Because Mitch was such a factor in their live show that that's something that I have to work really hard to do. They picked me because they think I can do it, and I'm gonna give them the best that I can.
Eddie Hermida from Suicide Silence is in the studio with me tonight, and I can't remember who's up next. Testament, that's who's up next. It's 107.7 The Bone, it's the Metal Zone. 107.7 The Bone, that was Children of Bodom in the Metal Zone. They are going to be at the Fillmore with Death Angel and Tear on February 28th. Those tickets are on sale now at livenation.com. Creator before that, Hatebreed before that, Municipal Waste before that. Testament started us off with True American Hate. Testament and Greg Christian have parted ways. It looks like Steve DiGiorgio is going to be filling in as the new bassist until they announce a permanent bassist. Not sure how long that's going to go, but it's not Steve DiGiorgio's first tour, so maybe it will be permanent. I'm not sure. Eddie Hermida from Suicide Silence is in the studio with me tonight, and obviously I have to ask you about All Shall Perish. There was a little bit of schism in the jump from All Shall Perish to Suicide Silence, and I'm sure you've got something you'd like to say to All Shall Perish fans out there.
All Shall Perish is going to move forward, and I'm proud of the work that I've done in that band. So I'm never going to tell people to not listen to them or to not listen to our music. I believe that they will do the best thing for that band. They made the decision to have me not be in the band anymore, and all that's on the internet if you want to read up on how I feel about it. But yeah, I have nothing but support for the band that I helped establish and really, really get out there. The original members are around and very supportive. Everybody who's been a part of that band has done nothing but push that ship forward, and that's what I'm going to continue doing. I have no animosity or anything like that.
That's the beauty of metal. You don't have to choose sides when mom and dad have a fight.
Yeah, right. We're basically it's a bunch of musicians, so I'm really looking forward to what my friends are going to put out there in the future. I really hope the best for everybody. That's all I can say. I wish I knew a little bit more. I wish I was kept more in the loop, but Teach their own.
Who knows what the odds are that you guys will end up on a tour again together?
Yeah, I would love that. Are you kidding?
Also, pair of Suicide Silence tours are not unusual, right?
Yeah, they're not. It's actually why I'm in Suicide Silence, because we grew up together. So, I mean, in the end, it's gonna be a good thing if they continue forward.
And the new Suicide Silence album will be out sometime later this year, hopefully around summer or before summer. And the Mitch Lucker Memorial DVD is coming out on February 18th. And Eddie Hermida has been my guest in the Bone Metal Zone tonight. I just want to say thanks for coming down.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And, to all my friends listening right now, if you're not at the show tonight, then I will see you soon before I leave. I love you all. And the Bay Area, keep on frickin' rockin', man.